At the age of 23, I sold all of my stocks, cashed out my entire investment account, and bought my first rental property. I'm Joy Yang, a 26-year-old who makes content about how to make your money work for you. Some of you guys may have seen my videos. I was unfortunately not a trust fund baby, and I got kicked out of my parents' house at 19 years old. In this video, I'll share with you guys my entire investing journey, from depositing my first $2,000 into an investment account, to surviving the learning curve as a beginner investor, and to finally making the down payment for my first rental property, a one-bedroom apartment in Markham, Ontario, Canada. Let's go through, step by step, the following. 1. How I learned to invest at 19 years old. 2. How I funded and automated my investing account. 3. The best investing strategy that worked for me. And 4. My current routine as a full-time investor compared to when I first started. And if throughout the video you're enjoying the insights I'm sharing, please hit the like button. It supports the channel and helps others find this content too. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear about your own investing journey or any questions you may have. How I learned investing at 19 years old. At 19, I was juggling 2 part-time jobs. One job was for all of my living expenses, and the money I made in my second job went into my investing account, a TFSA. I knew nothing about the stock market, and in fact, my dad told me not to invest. But still, when I got kicked out at 19, I needed more money, and I knew I had to put my money to work. The only resource I had was the internet to learn about investing. And actually, now that I reflect on how I started, I believe that it was actually a blessing to not have much money to start. I didn't have any extra cash readily available for me to start buying whatever stocks or cryptocurrency that people were talking about. So I didn't get FOMO and lose money. One good thing about not having money is that there's no money to lose. Here's a quick funny story of how I actually stumbled upon investing. So when I got kicked out at 19, I obviously had very little money. And just like any other 19-year-old, I Googled how to make money online and dividend stocks came up. I remember my first dividend payment of 96 cents from the stock Fortis, and I was hooked. That was the first time I earned money while I slept. Key steps to start learning investing. So here are 3 steps of learning that I focused on in order to build a solid foundation through free resources. Step 1, choosing the right content or content creator to learn from on YouTube. One thing I noticed about successful and unsuccessful investors is that successful investors know how to invest, while unsuccessful investors just searched what to invest in. Successful investors focus on building long-term strategies and understanding the principles behind their investments, while those who only want to know what to invest in can end up chasing trends and losing money because of FOMO. You know the saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you'll feed him for a lifetime. This is cliche to say, but I'm super glad I learned how to invest instead of just relying on the internet to tell me which stock to invest in. And I've mentioned many times before, my number 1 investing channel has to be Brandon Beavis. Well, now it's called Beavis Wealth. His YouTube videos taught me everything I know about investing, from how to set up the essential investing tools to the investing strategies that I'm using now. Step 2, deep dive into analysts' articles and companies' investor presentations. As I gradually developed a better understanding of investing, reading the articles written by professional analysts helped me get used to the key terminologies of investing and gradually pick up the analysis frameworks that professional investors use. Here's a pro tip for you guys. You can find companies' investor presentations for free using Google. Just search up Coca-Cola investor presentation or McDonald's investor presentation. Google and YouTube were my best friends back then. Step 3, put what I learned into practice with the right tools. Guys, honestly, there's no better way to learn how to invest than by actually investing and getting real experience with managing stocks and ETFs. Instead of waiting for the best time to start investing, there are many things that you can do to get started. For an example, setting up your first TFSA or Roth IRA. Deposit a small amount of money into your first investing account, create a watch list, and even testing how to place an order on your platform with a small amount of money. I started with $300. You need to pull the trigger and not let the fear of losing money be your excuse for constantly delaying your first step into investing. Trust me, whether you're a student or working a 9 to 5, you can definitely dedicate at least 30 minutes a day to learn and compound your knowledge by putting what you learn into practice. How I funded and automated my investing account. There are 2 crucial milestones in my investing journey. 1, having a fixed source of income to fund my investing account, and 2, automating my process of investing so I didn't have to manually buy and sell stock. When it comes to investing, one of the biggest challenges for beginners is actually funding their account consistently. For me, this is where my second part-time job came in. It wasn't just extra income, it was my investing income. I set a personal rule that a portion of every paycheck from that second job would go straight into my investing account. This strategy helped me avoid spending that money on other things and gave me a steady flow of funds to build my portfolio over time. Once I committed to consistently funding my investment account, I set up an automatic deposit from my main checking account to my investing account each month. On the first of every month, a fixed amount was transferred automatically into my investing account without me having to think about it. This approach made funding my investments as regular as paying a bill, which helped build my portfolio gradually and kept me disciplined. The key lesson here is to find the approach that works best for your situation and stay consistent with your process. Whether it was taking an extra job or setting up a fixed auto deposit were the methods that worked well for me in terms of compounding wealth. Let me know in the comments where you're at with your investing journey. Are you just getting started? Is there something you're afraid of? Do you have any questions? I always want to chat, so definitely leave a comment. Now, another crucial step that I must share with you guys is automating your investments. So setting up recurring purchases for the core stocks and ETFs in your portfolio. As a modern investor, you should definitely take advantage of tools and apps to make managing your portfolio less stressful. You don't have to make a decision every month about how much to invest or worry about forgetting. Let automation work for you. This led me into the best investing strategy that I've implemented in my portfolio, the dollar cost averaging strategy, or DCA for short. The best investing strategy that worked for me. Along with funding my account, I wanted to automate the actual investing process. I've been using the dollar cost averaging strategy. Dollar cost averaging means to invest the same amount of money into the same stock or ETF every single month, regardless of the price of the stock or ETF. There are so many different approaches to investing, but here are two main reasons why the dollar cost averaging strategy works and why it's beginner friendly. One, in investing, consistency wins, not timing. You always hear investors say time in the market is better than timing the market. Instead of trying to time the market, meaning every month you ask yourself, is this a good time to invest? When is the best time to invest? When will the stocks drop in price? Just be in the market. Put your money to work already. So whether the market was up or down, I'd still be buying shares. When prices were high, I'd buy fewer shares, and when prices were low, I'd buy more. Sometimes you buy shares at a high price, sometimes you buy shares at a low price, but over a long period of time, it starts to even out. Two, taking emotion out of the equation. By automating my investments with the DCA strategy, I wasn't tempted to react emotionally to short-term market fluctuations. Stocks go up and down all the time. It's very normal. One of the hardest things for new investors is seeing the market drop and feeling the urge to sell their investments, or seeing it rise and wanting to put more money in, which is literally the opposite of investing. The goal of investing is to buy low and sell high. But with emotions in the mix, people want to sell their stocks at a low because of fear, and they want to buy stocks when it's high because of FOMO. Classic beginner mistake. The DCA approach took the emotions out of it for me for the first few years of investing. I was investing the same amount no matter what the market looked like. If you're new to investing, setting up automation helps you keep track, especially when life gets busy as well. And you don't have to worry about remembering to make your monthly investment or be tempted to second guess yourself every single time there's a market fluctuation. Instead, your money is working for you in the background. This approach is like putting your financial growth on autopilot. While you focus on learning and improving your knowledge, your investments keep growing steadily. To automate my investing process, I set up recurring purchases of ETFs and blue chip stocks that I researched and felt confident in for long-term growth. And my brokerage, Wealthsimple, allowed me to set these purchases on a schedule so I didn't have to log in and make manual trades every month. I would love to make a more in-depth tutorial on this strategy if it's helpful to you. Please comment dollar cost averaging down below and let me know. My current routine as a full-time investor compared to when I first started. When I first started investing, I was constantly researching and learning, spending over 5 hours each day absorbing as much information as possible. As a beginner investor, my routine includes watching investing videos, reading articles, diving into financial statements, and studying investment presentations. I wanted to understand every detail about each company in my portfolio. And while that level of dedication was essential for building my foundation, I now have a much more refined routine. Now I don't need to spend hours every day on research. Instead, I've streamlined my approach, which helps me stay informed without overwhelming myself. Let me break down what my routine looks like now. Weekly market updates and financial news. Every week, I dedicate time to read through market updates, newsletters, and financial news to stay on top of economic trends and other major events that could affect my investments. Some of my go-to sources are Bloomberg, CNBC, and my favorite investing social app, Blossom. For beginners, I'd recommend sticking to 1 or 2 trusted sources for weekly updates. It's easy to get lost in information overload, so find sources that break down news in a way that's clear to you. Monthly portfolio check-ins. One major change in my routine now is that I only check my portfolio once a month. Early on, I would log into my investment account every single day, several times a day, tracking every little gain or loss. But I found that this only led to more stress and emotional reactions, which is never good for investing. Now I do a monthly check-in where I review my portfolio's performance, rebalance if needed, and make sure my asset allocation still aligns with my goals. If you're just starting out, I encourage you to try this monthly approach as well. Checking too often can lead to impulsive decisions, especially in volatile markets. By spacing out your check-ins, you'll be less influenced by short-term swings. Researching and choosing ETFs and stocks. When it comes to selecting the right stocks and ETFs, my approach has evolved to be more focused and efficient. Instead of spending hours researching new opportunities each week, I maintain a core list of companies and ETFs that I follow closely. This includes primarily blue chip stocks and diversified ETFs that I've thoroughly researched in the past. Here's a 3-step framework on how I research and select my investments. Step 1, sticking to a core portfolio. I focus on stocks and ETFs that I know well and feel confident in for the long term. By keeping a watch list of high-quality investments, I avoid getting distracted by every new stock that pops up on social media or in the news. Step 2, reviewing company updates. For the stocks I own, I regularly review their quarterly earnings reports and any investor presentations. These updates give me a good sense of whether the company is still performing well and aligned with my investment thesis. I don't dive as deeply into these as I used to, but I make sure I understand any major changes that could impact their future growth. Step 3, evaluating new opportunities with caution. Occasionally, I'll come across a new ETF or stock that catches my interest. When that happens, I go through my usual research process, reading the company's annual reports, checking out analysts' opinions, and reviewing investor presentations. However, I'm careful to avoid making impulsive decisions. I usually wait a few weeks to see if I'm still interested before making any moves. So keep in mind that you might find yourself needing to spend more time learning and adjusting at the early stage. As you gain more experience, you can gradually streamline your routine to be efficient and stress-free. I have a free Are You Financially Adulting checklist. You can grab a copy by clicking the link in the description of this video so that you can refer to it as your personal wealth building roadmap. With the same link, you'll also be subscribed to my free weekly newsletter where I share my investing insights and portfolio updates with you every Sunday. You will also get a link where you can see all of the stocks I own and get notified whenever I buy and sell stocks for free. Everything is free, so go ahead and click the link below. By the time I was 23, I finally reached a point where I could sell all of my stock investments and turn them into something physical, my first rental property. It was a joint rental property ownership between my ex-partner and I. I'm super proud of my younger self because she went from getting kicked out of her parents' house at 19 to having multiple part-time jobs to achieving her first major financial goal in 5 years, thanks to the hard work and consistency in growing her investment account. This was absolutely not an overnight success. It was a result of small, consistent actions over several years. I hope that I've provided some value for you in this video. Also, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more beginner-friendly finance videos. See you guys in the next video.